Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today for men only. Leftover women learn the hard way because men aren't pursuing them anymore. The wall. Please subscribe them below. I really appreciate that. See that? Ciao. It's chow time.
Men are owed a global apology. You see, we were sold this lie as women.
Today, we'll explore the reasons why leftover women are facing challenges as men are no longer pursuing them as they used to. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell to support the channel. Let's get started.
What happened to men pursuing girls?
What happened? Why aren't men pursuing women anymore? Honestly, I don't know why women keep asking this question over and over. But let's see if we can try and explain it to them one more time. But let's be honest, though, the answers we're giving them are going to go in one ear and right out the other, because the reality is they don't really want to know what men actually think. They just want men to validate what they think is the reason, even though it's completely wrong. So why are men not approaching women anymore? Well, to quote an old guy from a few hundred years ago, let me count the ways. And I'm going to give you the three biggest reasons why men have stopped approaching. Number one, because there's nothing to be gained in doing so. Sorry, ladies, but men have figured out that while you think you can have all the insane expectations in the world, you know, like if he isn't 6 feet tall with six-pack abs and a six-figure income, you also tell us that if men have even the slightest of expectations, hell, any at all, then we're controlling, manipulative, and abusive. The expectation in today's relationships is that they're a one-way street where men give, and get nothing in return. Thanks, but no thanks. Number two, because it's not safe to approach women anymore. The risk to being in the vicinity of a woman or a group of women, let alone approaching one, is simply too great. False allegations are rampant at work, at school, in the home, literally anywhere in today's society. Women have weaponized Me Too and are using it to get back at men for even the slightest of reasons, knowing not only will they be believed, even when it's been proven beyond a doubt that they're lying, but that they'll get a ton of sympathy for the trauma they faced. Approaching a woman...
I mean, how many men get destroyed by all these allegations that are all proven false, but yet these men's lives did not recover? That's the shitty part. And no punishment for these women? Why is that so?
Nowadays isn't just taking the risk of getting mocked, made fun of, or told to go away, incel. It carries the very real risk of arrest, prison, and having your life destroyed. Ask yourselves, ladies, would you be willing to take that risk, knowing that if you just happen to pick the wrong person to approach, they'll destroy your life just because they can? Yeah, I didn't think so. And finally, number three, the biggest and best reason of all. You told us not to, ladies. You've made it abundantly clear you don't want us, don't need us, and most importantly, don't want us approaching you. So while you may think we men aren't listening, aren't paying attention, we heard you loud and clear, and we men are giving you exactly what you want, which begs the question, why, for the love of God, do you keep asking these same questions over and over?
It's truly mind-blowing how these women keep asking the same redundant questions, feeding their own delusions while invalidating themselves in the process. It's like taking a giant step backward. The attitudes towards men over the last 15 years have made it too dangerous and simply not worth it for us to chase or approach women anymore. Let's talk about
unless you're a damn good-looking man and you know you're a damn good-looking man, you can get away with approaching women a lot more often than just a normal-looking guy. You know, if you're working out, you got some muscles, you're kind of tall, you can do those things. But most people don't have that ability. Most people get seen as creeps, which is the saddest thing because most men are just normal men. No, they see normal men as creeps. That's the shitty thing about it.
Divorce for a moment. It's turned into a nightmare for men, both emotionally and financially. We've lost good years of our lives and personal property, leaving us with nothing left to lose. It's like women want what they can't have, not what they can actually have. And let's be honest, Most women just aren't worth it.
No.
There's nothing to gain but huge risks. So why bother? It's better to focus on personal growth and development, steering clear of women altogether. After all, women are the ones always looking for men to take care of them, right? Well, if they want that, they should take the initiative. Otherwise, they'll end up alone with their cats, wondering where it all went wrong. You see, men have been painted as the villains for far too long. We've been shamed, blamed, and cast aside. But what do we get in return? Nothing but more demands, more expectations, and more toxicity. We're tired of being treated like disposable commodities, only valued for what we can provide. But here's the thing, it's not just about what women want from us. It's also about what they bring to the table. And let's face it, most of them bring nothing but drama, entitlement, and unrealistic expectations.
And liabilities.
They expect us to jump through hoops to please them, while they offer nothing in return. It's time for women to wake up and realize that they're not entitled to anything. They're not princesses waiting to be rescued. They're not goddesses deserving of worship. They're just ordinary human beings, flawed and imperfect like the rest of us.
Yeah, isn't it funny that they always call themselves queens and goddesses and things like that? Like, these beings are highest end of high end. A queen, there's no one more powerful than a queen in the land. So you're not a queen because you're not that powerful and you're not that important. There's only one queen in one country. So not all of you guys can be queens. And goddesses, really? You compare yourself to an actual god. This is what women are doing to themselves. They are so high up in their fucking like brains or minds. I don't even know if it's brains or not. That they think that they're gods. That they're so sought after, that it's such the prize that they're almost gods, that you should be worshipped. That's crazy. How is that not such delusion that people should be put in mental institutions to think that you are so beautiful and you're so good as a goddess?
So if women want to be treated like equals, they need to start acting like it. They need to take responsibility for their own lives and stop expecting men to do everything for them. Otherwise, they'll continue to be disappointed, wondering why they can't find a good man, while pushing away the ones who actually care. If women want to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives, they need to start looking inward instead of outward. Otherwise, they'll continue to chase after the wrong things, only to end up empty-handed in the end.
It's always but. Oops, excuse me.
Hey, little Bumble update. I was supposed to have a date tonight. We're supposed to meet here at a restaurant at 7:30.
What is up with your eyes, girl? You I don't know if you're old and then the filter's like smoothing out the rest of your face, but your eyes look so wrinkly.
It was gonna be a first date. The guy pursued me, of course, and we've chatted probably for like 4 days, and like yesterday he was like, hey, can I have your number? Let's talk off of here. And I was like, sure, let's do it. And so we did. And so he's texted me, like, being consistent, and he was like, so when am I gonna be able to take your, pretty butt on a date? And I was just like, well, I'm free like anytime in the evenings, like after 6. Like I work, and on the weekends after 6. I work on the weekends too. And so he was like, okay, well, I don't have any plans tonight. What about tonight? Is that too early? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't have any plans either. And he's like, well, would you want to go, grab a drink, go to dinner? Would you want to do something? And I was like, yeah, I would love that. I was like, I'll be free. Like, we can meet somewhere. I can meet you at 7:30 somewhere. Okay, where do you want to go? You just pick a restaurant, and like, I'll meet you there. And he did. Love that. So he, we text like up until about 6:30, and so at like 6:40 I was like, hey, it'll be 15 minutes and I'll be leaving. It takes me about 15 to get there. Nothing. So I was like, okay, cool.
Wait, wasn't the dinner at 6?
So then I texted him at 7 when I was leaving. I was like, hey, I'm on my way.
Off at 6.
Nothing. So then I get to the restaurant and it's about 7:20, and I'm not early for anything. Like, we're supposed to meet at 7:30. I'm normally here right at 7:30. But I was early. And so I called him because I was like, well, maybe he's driving. I don't know how far it takes him. He just, whatever. Call him and no answer. So So I looked, I was like, he hadn't blocked me because my texts are still going through. He hasn't blocked me on the app. So
How do you know if your texts are going through or not? If someone blocks you, I thought that doesn't tell you if you're being blocked or anything, does it?
like, whatever. So it is now 7:52 and we're supposed to meet at 7:30 and I've heard nothing from him. So, this sucks. Like, why waste my time? Because
Wait, does she have like hickeys on her neck? Am I tripping out on this right here? Because I kind of see somewhat hickey looking things on her neck.
I stopped working early.
Or is this just from her
So I
scratching?
leave, get home,
It
get
definitely
ready.
does look
Like, you pursued me. Like, why? Why waste my fucking time? Like, that's what pisses me off about dating in this world is like, be a damn adult and like cancel. Like, if you, or don't even pursue me. Like, there's, like, don't waste my time. It's very frustrating. Just to be like I've wasted my time, wasted makeup, you know, to come here, wasted gas.
You know how many times guys have done this? Showed up on dates and women just never said anything? A lot more than women, in my opinion. So, shut up. And just have a good time. Eat the dinner at the restaurant. That's what I do. If women are like 5 minutes late and don't say shit, I just start eating. Start ordering, start eating, having my good old time. I don't give a fuck.
And then just for you to not show up when all you had to do was, oh, I don't know, not talk to me. Or just not ask me out. Like, what's the purpose of it? But here we are, again, fourth time. Cool. Cool.
Absolutely. It's amazing how something as seemingly small as chewing gum can be such a turnoff during a date. Men are indeed intelligent beings who reflect on every conversation, analyzing whether there's potential for something more. And let's be real here. If a woman is chomping on her gum like a cow, it's definitely not sending the right vibes.
Oh.
It's clear that this guy wasn't feeling like he was going to get what he wanted from her. Maybe he sensed a lack of chemistry or compatibility. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. Men are starting to realize that they don't need to settle for someone who doesn't meet their standards. In fact, some men are even taking it a step further and standing girls up on first dates to see how they react. It's a bit extreme, sure, but it's a clear sign of
I wouldn't suggest it, but I mean, men are doing what they want to do. It is what it is.
how fed up some guys are with the entitlement and game playing that seems to be rampant in the dating scene. And let's not forget about those chads who are spinning women up with false hope, only to ghost them later on. It's a cruel game, and unfortunately, it seems like some women are falling right into the trap. But
Yep.
here's the thing. True connection and chemistry can't be forced. You'll find everything you want in a man when you least expect it. And for many men, drama is an absolute deal breaker.
Ugh.
They crave peace and tranquility in their lives, not unnecessary drama and chaos. So it's no wonder that modern Western women are struggling to find the right man. If they continue down this path of drama and entitlement, they may find themselves doomed to a life of loneliness and disappointment. But hey, maybe it's time for a reality check. Maybe it's time to start appreciating the good men who are out there, instead of playing games and chasing after something that may never materialize.
I have had multiple men in my adult life ask me the same question. Megan, you seem great. You seem awesome. How come you've never had a boyfriend? How am I supposed to answer that? Because yeah, I am great. I am awesome.
Are you?
But it's like when you go to a job interview and they're like, what experience do you have? And you're like, well, actually, this is going to be my first job, but like, I'm really prepared for it. I went to college. I got all the classes done. Like, I know exactly what this job needs from me. But they're like, but you've never had experience? You've never done this job before? And they don't hire you. That's how I currently feel. Because, again, multiple men in my adult life who I have talked to have asked me that question, and I say the same thing back, like, I don't know.
No, they know. You're for the streets. That's what they're saying, and that's what they're thinking. Women, you're in your 30s. If you're that late and you've never had a boyfriend, that is crazy. What have you been doing this whole time? Do you have a high-powered career that you just focused on? Or did you just have fun, sleep with as many men as you wanted, and never had a single relationship throughout that whole time, and now you want one. Men see this. Men don't even have to see this. All they have to do is hear you say, you've never been in a relationship. Boom. For the streets.
Because I do feel like I'm prepared for this. I
No, you're
am not hiding anything from you guys. There's not some weird skeleton in my closet. No human skeletons.
There actually is.
And I know, without a shadow of a doubt in my heart, that there's going to be some keyboard warrior who looks at me and he says, you know the reason. You know the reason. It's because you're fat. You know the reason. Honey, I know. I have a mirror. But plenty.
Do you? If you've had a mirror this whole time, maybe you should have fixed that issue this whole time. That's majority of your issue is probably your weight. If you actually lost weight, you would look tremendously better.
Plenty? A plentiful people find love. So shut it. Anyway. And with this whole Shoot My Shot series that I've been doing on TikTok, by the way, sorry there have been no updates, but really there have been no updates. Sorry. But a lot of you guys in my comments have been like, Megan, how are you single?
Yeah, because the men that do want you, the simps and all the people in your comment section, you don't want. You still want the high tier man, and guess what? He's not looking for a chubby.
I don't know. And I know that this path is not an abnormal one for a lot of people. I know that there are a lot of people who are my age, older or younger, who have never had a boyfriend or a significant other. So I know that I'm not alone in this. But at what point am I not gonna be alone in this life? I don't know if I have a point to this video. I'm just upset. I'm just like, yeah, I am a catch. I know it. You know it. I just need one man. I just need one man to know it. No.
You know, it's funny when we tell other men, oh, you're kind of fat, you need to lose the weight. Guess what they do? They go and lose the weight. We tell women this, and then it's, you should love me the way I am. I am fat, ugly, I'm morbidly obese, and I have horrible habits. Love me the way I am. Where men are like, oh shit, I do look kind of fat, don't I? Yeah, fatty. All right, let me go try, get some workouts in, get some reps in. Boom, they become fucking Adonises, and then now they get to do whatever the hell they want. Where women, I swear to God, most of them can be very beautiful if they lost the weight and pretty much can pull almost most men that they want, but they choose not to do the work.
Not just to know it, but like to follow through on it. Like, where's the follow through, people?
It sounds like she's stuck in the past, reminiscing about her glory days from 20 years ago. But here's the thing. She needs a reality check.
She does.
Thinking you're a great catch is one thing, but actually being one is another. And from what it sounds like, her problem isn't weight-based. It's that she's too picky and has standards that no one has met yet. Let's not forget, men have standards too. They're not just going to settle for anyone who comes along. And if she's unknowingly making people feel friend-zoned, then she's definitely not sending the right signals. But here's the real kicker. Most women aren't actively working on improving themselves.
Yep.
They're too focused on finding someone who meets their checklist of requirements, instead of looking inward and working on becoming the best version of themselves. Men don't like it when women appear to know it all, and don't allow them to step into their masculine energy and be the hero. It's emasculating and off-putting. So here's a piece of advice for her. Maybe it's time to start being the dominant one and asking men out. After all, men are too afraid to make the first move these days, thanks to the fear of being accused of harassment or labeled as creepy. It's time for women to take charge of their dating lives and start making things happen.
I want to talk about the dating in New York because it fucking...
Whoever lives in New York, kudos to you guys. I can't live in that kind of city where everything is just so tall and dirty and just the way you move about things. I'm so used to California where I have to drive everywhere. I can't be in New York.
Sucks. Like, every single situationship and like thing that I've been in has gone so left, and I'm like, is it me? like, what did I do?
You aged.
And I sit here and I reflect, and it's like, I give so much. Like, I hate it that I'm such like a lover girl, even though I don't really like look like it. Like, when I love so hard. And like,
yeah, it's usually only the Chads, the Tyrones, that's
it's
why.
like every situationship that I've been in, I'm like, and it just goes left. I'm like, what did I, is it me? Like, what did I do?
You aged.
And
you never improved yourself in any way, shape,
like,
or form.
I don't know.
Other than your looks.
Like, I'm so over it. Like, I don't want to do the dating apps anymore. Like, I'm done with dating. Like, before I met you, I was at peace. And then I met you, and we hung out, and, like, did the thing. And it was so good, and I was so happy, and I was so comfortable, and, like, everything was great. And then it goes left, and it's like, you deserve, like, disturbed my peace, you know? Like, I'm just, like, so done. Every time.
That's exactly how men feel.
I give it another try, and I end up, like, really finding a connection with someone. Something ends up happening. And I always think that, like, I'm the one who fucked it up. And I'm like...
You might be.
Like, ugh. Like, I swear to God, the rate that this is going, I'm like, I just give up. Like, I totally give up. I throw, like, I'm done. I surrender. Like, I'm just going to accept the fact that I want to be alone for the rest of my life, because I'm never going to find my person, because every time I do, and every time I think I found someone, I didn't. And they end up just like...
You do realize you're picking these particular men. You have a better vetting process. You have other people to help you vet these people. Instead of just doing it on your own and picking usually the most attractive person, or the person that gives you the most butterflies in your stomach, or whatever it is, maybe pick them for other reasons other than money and looks.
They end up just like leaving. And I'm like, what happened? And I know this is like so cringe of me, because first of all, I hate crying, especially in front of people, because I don't want to show my weakness and vulnerability.
How many every minute videos?
But at the same time, I'm like, somebody else has to relate to this, because what the fuck, actually. So now I'm here, trying to enjoy the holiday with my family. My stepdad was nice enough to make me a super fucking stiff drink, so I can breathe for a second and just relax.
You know, it's funny, because if I drank a stiff drink, I wouldn't be able to breathe, because I get allergic reactions to it. So like my nose gets super stuffy when I drink. So I'm the opposite of her.
But yeah, how's your Sunday?
Great.
It's a familiar tale. Chad swoops in once again, leaving these modern women in a whirlwind of confusion and heartache. Chads have become a nightmare for these women.
They have.
Luring them onto a carousel of false promises and fleeting affection, only to leave them stranded in the vast expanse of the dating pool. But let's not mince words here. These women are part of the problem. They allow themselves to be entangled in the web that Chads weave, ignoring the warning signs and diving headfirst into a cycle of disappointment and disillusionment. Chads, with their endless array of options, see women as nothing more than replaceable commodities in their quest for temporary gratification.
I mean, tell you the truth, in somewhat of a case, I see women as just somewhat commodities nowadays. I don't really have too much connections with that very many women. I don't even want to build connections with women nowadays, just as a person.
And sadly, these women continue to fall victim to their charms, unaware of the toxic patterns that keep them trapped in a vicious cycle of ups and downs. In the end, perhaps they're getting exactly what they deserve. After all, if they continue to be immune to the toxicity of men like Chad, they'll only find themselves perpetually riding solo in the tumultuous landscape of modern dating.
Men are owed a global apology. You see, we were sold this lie as women, that we could have the most perfect man, we could have everything we've ever wanted, and all our desires and dreams would come true. But it really was an illusion. It really was false.
100%.
And what it's done for women is it's kept them single, because the agenda of it was to remove the woman from the home and to stop the man wanting to return to it. So my global apology to men is that I'm sorry that I always thought I knew more, and I'm sorry that I didn't let you lead, and I'm sorry that because of that you would have never felt good enough, and that's simply not true. You are good enough, and we do appreciate you, and we do love you so much. And
As much as you say that, we never feel it, nor do you ever show it outside of these stupid little apology videos or whatever. Men don't even realize it or feel it or experience it in their day-to-day life with their partners. That's how sad it is that these women don't care for us men.
And I'm sorry that those actions of mine made you feel like you weren't enough. The truth was that I didn't feel like I was enough, and I was projecting that onto you, and you didn't deserve that. So that's my global
I appreciate that.
to all men. Ladies, use the comment section below. What is your apologies? What do you want to say sorry for? What is your global apology to men?
It's commendable that she's finally stepping up and taking accountability, but let's delve deeper into the situation. The truth is, it might be a little too late for her to realize the gravity of her actions. Us men have collectively checked out en masse, tired of the constant blame and unrealistic expectations placed upon us.
Passport bros.
Now, there's a line of women eager to be part of our lives, but they only get our time when it's convenient for us. This woman, once a relationship and marriage coach, has finally come to terms with the fact that she can't do it alone. For years, she's been part of the culture that trashed men, projected insecurities onto them, and placed blame on them for not meeting unrealistic standards. But as reality hits her hard, especially as she's hit the proverbial wall, it's time for her to face the music. It's time for her to realize that us men are the prize, and women can't thrive without us. Perhaps it's time for her to start showing genuine appreciation for the value that men bring to the table. This isn't just about her. It's about a larger societal shift that needs to take place. Women need to understand that men are not disposable commodities to be discarded at will.
Nor ATMs.
We deserve respect, appreciation, and reciprocity in our relationships. As she navigates this realization, it's up to us men to decide if we're willing to give her another chance. But until then, she and other women needs to recognize the error of their ways and work towards genuine change. After all, actions speak louder than words.
Shoutouts to man only. Tell the truth, most men are not willing to give women a chance anymore. Most men see women like this as chameleons off the bat. They don't even care. But once you were a feminist and now you're not a feminist, most men see you as some kind of chameleon. Why? Because you had to change because you weren't getting what you wanted. So we're not sure if you're doing it because you want what you want, or you're doing it genuinely. Please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.